There is a moment in every life when you decide to rise, to stand taller than your fear, to speak louder than your doubt, to chase the vision that sets your soul on fire. This is that moment. And here, we walk it together with stories that awaken, voices that inspire, and truths that set you free. This is Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where hope has a voice, and that voice is yours. And welcome to the show, everybody. We've got a great show for you today. He's been on the show before, and we talked a great deal about all the things he's done and being a stand-up comic and a songwriter and an author and a speaker. And Rochelle, am I missing anything?
Just that he is completely one and original. I know that we all are, but Scott Grace is truly one of a kind person, and we are so grateful to have you back. So how are you doing today? How's life?
I'm excited. I'm so glad to be with you. We had so much fun last time.
We did.
I can't wait what we brew up together for this hour.
Yes.
Well, first of all, I would like to share with people that because you were a stand-up comic in the Bay Area, so you got to meet some very, very influential people, some of which are no longer with us, like Robin Williams, as an example. And the things that you do with the music that you write and everything that you do. What's it like to be you when you wake up in the morning?
Before coffee?
Yes. Probably, yeah. Or after. You get to pick.
I work at cultivating an attitude of gratitude. I wake up, I'm a little grumbly and groggy, and I floss and I brush and and then I do some rebounding on my rebounder. Okay, I'll show you. And for like an hour, I jump on my little mini trampoline. And while I'm doing it, I'm tapping in affirmations, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm giving myself love, and I'm letting go of judgments. It's the best way to start the day. Gone are the grumpies. The body feels flexible, and you know what? It helps me just flow with life's ups and downs.
Have you ever fallen off that thing?
Nah.
Nah.
Not really.
You don't live in my world.
So step one is everybody needs a morning mini trampoline.
That actually makes it
so you can rebound from the groggy, grumpy state that you might have started the day from.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you, sir, have got several books that are out.
Yes.
And you have one that I want to talk about that's not out yet, but it's in the final processes.
It's 9 months pregnant.
So it's about ready to be birthed.
Yes. And then I'll have to take the amniotic fluid off, and there's a process before it goes out into the world.
And so, Scott, what's the book about, and what have you talked about in it?
It's titled Beyond Red and Blue: Staying Human in Divided Times, and it's about learning to disagree, to have a point of view, but to connect to people with very different points of view through curiosity, through doing your inner work, and not seeing angels and demons, and just seeing human beings who are all doing their best, and their best could be better. But until mine is perfect, who am I to judge?
Yeah. What made you want to write this book?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in 2016, I think Trump's first, I wrote a book called How to Evolve During the Trump Experience, Whether Humanity Joins You or Not. And it was for people who are having trouble with Trump. And it's, in other words, for liberals and progressives, right? So my publisher actually planted this seed. He said, Scott, why don't you rewrite that book and make it about just the amount of hatred and craziness going on, and make it for everyone, not just red, just blue, just for everyone struggling with the hard times that we're in. So that was he planted the seed. I started writing, and the first thing that came out of me, which really excited me and made me want to write the book, was the foreword. The foreword was written by the spiritual Dr. Seuss.
Mm-hmm.
And this may be forward of me, but I'd like to share it with you.
I'd love to. You can be forward all you like. I'd love to hear it.
Okay. So this little book begins with some rhyming. Consult Dr. Seuss for a lesson in timing. But this is no fable for kids getting tucked in. It's a wake-up adults talk for the nightmares we're stuck in. A talk without answers. A book talk. I do this live, so I do it as a talk. But a book without answers, but full of good questions. Ones to chew slowly for mindful digestion. Like, why do most people see just red or blue? Could there be more than one valid view? Are opinions synonymous with what is true? Is this what our founders envisioned we'd do? Now, old honest Abe, he was the man. A house this divided cannot long stand. He was Republican, President Lincoln, and I'd like to see more of the ways he was thinking. Why are opinions so doggone rigid? Why is this Cold War becoming more frigid? What could be making extremes so attractive? What could be making our brains so reactive? Now, I've cooked up a theory that still needs more cooking that points to the glasses through which we've been looking. A dark pair of lenses that filter out light till all we can see is just black and white. No room for discussion. You're wrong and I'm right. Blood pressure rises, adrenaline spikes, and I'm left with three options: just fight, freeze, and flight. And when on the menu there's only three F's, it brings out my worst traits and hides all the rest. No listening to you. It's time to go tribal, to stick with my own kind and steer clear of rivals. My rivals are totally up to no good. They simply cannot be the least understood. I know this from news shows that always agree with my view of the world and the way it should be, whether Fox or MSNBC. It all sure sounds fair and balanced to me. Could it be the whole world is now wearing these glasses, letting the media blow smoke up our asses, using the internet for amplifying the reasons the other side needs demonizing, our differences seemingly so polarizing? We could spend half the day back and forth analyzing. And through algorithms, you see only your tribe and think the whole world is applauding your side. The trespassing's always those other dumbasses, and never the fault of your own faulty glasses. May this book help us take off those glasses and see what we all have in common, our humanity.
Mm.
That's brilliant, sir. Simply brilliant.
Yes.
Because it's until we can figure out a way to get along. Now, in the book that you're writing, have you figured out such a way for us to all get along and appreciate each other's wondrous differences and the people that we are?
Yes, you'll have to buy the book.
Perfect.
No, as I say, the book has more questions than answers, and its purpose is to get us to think on a higher plane, and not appeal to our basic instincts, which tends to be fight, flight, or fright. The big adrenaline junkies that we've become.
Yeah.
How
Kevin, may
do
I ask?
yeah, you may ask, my dear.
I'd love to know, Scott, if while you were going through this, you had the idea with children in mind, and how we as adults have learned and originated our functions, and how important that is because of our next generation.
I didn't understand the second part. There were three parts of your question, and
Let me phrase it up a
did
little
I?
shorter.
Yeah,
Did you have,
yeah.
like, was there a moment going through this book where you thought about children and how
Hmm.
us as adults and everything that is happening and the way that we are being, with how you talked about the colors and what we're able to see in each other, and how that affects children from their
Yes.
learning from us?
Yes, yes, yes. In fact, my daughter is my muse, so
Mm,
um, so I have a personal child to bounce things off of, and to dedicate, because everybody needs a muse. Every creative needs somebody to do. So my daughter and children in general. I mean, there's actually a pretty biting section in the book where it says, our children are looking over our shoulder. And
yeah,
so yes, very much so.
And I wanted
very
to
good.
mention, Rochelle, go ahead and mention about Samuel.
Yes, so we have to shout out Samuel Nyandika. He's here joining in from Kenya. So hello, we love you. Thank you for listening and sharing us with your community. We hope all is well. And Scott is an amazing one to be here for. So stay for the whole thing if you can.
And Samuel is he helps children in Kenya find food and to help them eat
Mm,
and stuff so that he can he's got a whole program that he operates, and so we've become a favorite of his, and so
mhm.
so you're being heard in Kenya right now, young man.
Kenya.
Yes. And that's cool too, because what he does is all based, his community is all humanitarian work. And that's exactly what we're talking about with this book is, can we come back to the
Mhm.
fact that we are all human? We're all doing this together. So why are we making it harder? Which
Yeah.
you've probably learned. There's many ways we could stop doing that.
Yes.
We
Yes.
could. Well, and Scott, why don't we?
I don't know. I'm mystified. I think that the American shadow, every country, every human being has a shadow, right? The stuff that we don't see. Um, and when America was born, independence was a pioneering idea,
Yep.
and democracy, capitalism, all of that. But the shadow side of it is entitlement, a sense of separation from the rest of the world, And I think that it's come to a head. And we've elected a man who actually represents the shadow of the United States better than anyone, right? And so I think that moves evolution forward because it flushes out the dark side. So that's where I think we were at. Just it's a flushing out period. It's we're all getting a colonic really right now.
So you do
And
have hope for the future.
I do. Absolutely. Yeah. There is health after colonics.
Yeah.
And didn't Jesus say, love your enemies?
He did say that, and it is hard.
well, he didn't say love your enemas. He said love your enemies.
Uh-huh. Well, same
That's
thing in
two
this
different
context.
things. Some people like their enemas, but some people even have coffee in their enemas, which is hard for me to believe.
Yeah. But really the experience that we're having right now is bringing to the surface stuff that has been unresolved since the birth of our country. There was in the revolutionary time period, the founding fathers wanted to outlaw slavery, and they would have lost half the country. So they actually compromised and made it okay. But that split has always been around, and it seems to be more polarized than ever at this point.
Yep, for many many reasons, and some of which we can get into, but a lot of them are just pure silliness. But
I don't care about the reasons. I care about the solutions.
perfect. And Scott Grace is our guest. We need to take a break, and I got a brand new. Rochelle hasn't even seen this piece yet. I've got a brand new piece to play, and we'll be back in 34 seconds. How do I know that? Because I wrote the thing. We'll be right back. Here's another point to ponder by Positive Talk Radio. A tiny seed was buried in the dirt, covered in darkness, forgotten by the world. But within that darkness, it grew roots, then sprouted into something beautiful. The seasons of struggle you face are not endings, they're beginnings. Trust that growth is happening, even when you cannot see it. You're listening to Positive Talk Radio, where stories of hope live. And welcome back to Positive Talk. We have Brochelle's here, and there's Scott. Hey, how are you, young man? It's nice to see you again. Go to his website, which is scottsongs.com. He's a life coach. He's got speaking services. He does music on stage. He does stand-up comedy. He does a lot of stuff, and he's a very deep thinker, all at the same time. Would you consider yourself a very deep thinker, sir?
Deep, very deep, very too deep.
Nah, I don't think it can be too deep, because,
I'd like to
well,
fight that.
go
You
ahead,
tell me
Rochelle.
that. Yeah, because it is that deep, Scott. Like well, okay, we choose what we get to make, meaning if it's that deep to us or not, and how we let it affect us. Because I think some of our greatest things in life that we're capable of doing come out when we think deeper and we really dig in. And going through experiences with helping people with their life, Scott, you've probably seen so many people that maybe tell you, I never knew I could be this person. And it's because you made them dig a little deeper within, right?
Yeah. So sometimes I still try to appear to be the comic when my life has moved me more in the direction of the elder, the wisdom keeper. And sometimes I just get embarrassed about that, and I try to, to poo-poo it.
You can't poo-poo it. It's because that's who you are now.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just getting used to it.
Yeah, well, I
And
think that's such an honor too. Like I couldn't imagine me getting to a point to where I realized that I might be in that state and where I am and helping people and looking back at do you look back and you're like everything makes sense and I trust it going forward even now easier than maybe you did a few years ago?
Of course. Yeah.
Good.
Trust in the process.
Mhm.
Trust that my detours, and there's been plenty of them, are actually the richest part of the process.
Mm,
So yeah,
it's
um,
powerful.
isn't it all part of the journey that you're on to become as you move forward? Because you're still a young man. As you move forward and develop things and experiences and stuff, and don't laugh, you're younger than me, maybe. And but it's a continual process of learning, isn't it?
absolutely. Yeah. I'm an unfinished masterpiece in progress.
Yeah.
And parts of me are messy and parts of me are polished. And that's just the way it's going to be until I croak.
Yeah.
Which is a
Do you
very
have
long.
different feelings about things now? Like when is there things you still do in your day-to-day life or maybe even a few times a year that now is just so much more impactful to you and so much more meaningful?
when I uh, when I take my guitar out to just stroll around, and here in Mexico, a lot of people ask for La Bamba, and um, when I connect with strangers through my music, I feel like more like it's more of a ministry. Like like I have more respect for the troubadour energy, maybe even more connection to past lives where I was a troubadour.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Have you been curious into looking into your past lives or
Mm. I've had a few, but mostly no, because I know that this life is uh, has every ingredient that I need to learn what I need to learn. So, it's kind of like nice new age cocktail talk. You know,
yeah.
um, I mean, I love knowing what my past lives were,
Yeah.
and mostly it's this life that I'm concerned with.
Well, all of that is
And
still with you. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's all made me where I am.
well, and a lot of the things in your past lives, and
Yes,
this is for everybody, a lot of the things in your past lives are manifesting in this life. If
yes.
to continue your journey of learning and growing, which supersedes one particular lifetime, because right now you are a man in Mexico, but in a past life you might have been a tall black woman from Nairobi and had a different life experience than you, but it's all designed for the encouragement and the betterment of the soul over the different processes and the things that you do. That's my opinion. What's your opinion, sir?
My opinion, which does not have dominion, my opinion, which I don't stand behind a lot, is that this present day Scott, who's giving it all he's got, is all I need to focus on. And those lives in the past in which I was born as a woman, a man, a warrior, a saint, that's not where I am today. No, I ain't. Where I am today is where learning can happen. So, yeah, those past lives are cool, but they're kind of crapping.
You've been thinking about this a little bit longer than just a second,
No
or
way. Never thought of it. Maybe in a past life.
maybe. But
Maybe.
when you're taking your guitar and you're going down into the city square and you're playing your music and people are listening and you're having a positive impact on their day. Isn't that all there is?
Mhm. There's flossing, washing the dishes. But I know what you mean. Like it really elevates the sense of purpose and beauty in life.
Yeah. Make it a little
I'm
more colorful.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that you would prefer to be spending your time in the city square, playing music than washing dishes.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yes.
And
And
we
both can
wash
be
dishes.
fulfilling.
But washing dishes could be delicious. I could be singing and bringing joy to my space while getting those dishes clean and maybe even washing my face. So maybe all of life needs my embrace and not just the magical moments I create.
Yeah. I mean, if I walked past Scott's house and I heard and felt the energy coming from the music and the vibration and the smell of the food, I wouldn't even have to put my eyes onto something that my soul could still take in and have an experience with. And that also goes a long way, right? More than what we realize we're doing for ourselves, we're projecting that out.
Rochelle, do you want me to reply to that? Because I didn't
No,
quite
not
I didn't
necessarily.
I
Just
didn't quite understand it.
yeah, well, if you're just whatever you're giving out is also what you're giving back, and that creates your reality, right?
So what you're saying, what we give, we
Mhm.
receive.
Yeah, in an
Yeah.
energy sense.
Yes. Yes. Not in a codependency sense.
Yeah. Mm,
And because that is a universal concept, and regardless of your spiritual concept or belief, that's in every major writing of all time is be kind to one another and treat them as you would treat yourself.
Mhm. Which brings me to a
yeah.
story.
Mm,
This story gave rise to the book that I'm writing. It was in 2000, I don't know, Trump's first election. And I was very much committed to being um, a bleeding heart liberal at the time. So when I saw this elderly couple get on the plane and sit next to me with MAGA hats on, and not knowing I had a 4-hour flight with them, I thought, okay, headphones, here I come. And I stewed in my own righteousness for maybe an hour. And then I got curious.
mm,
These are human beings. And why not try to connect with them? And so I said, excuse me, do you have any grandchildren?
mhm,
And they said, oh, yeah, we have plenty. And I said, tell me or show me pictures. And we started a conversation that lasted 2 or 3 hours about our children. And we were all like just schmoozing, having a great time, completely forgotten about politics. But there was one nagging question that I heard in the back of my mind that wanted to be asked, and it might have spoiled everything. So I held back for a while, but eventually I felt like I got to ask this. So I said, I want to ask you, I'm just very curious, what kind of world are you hoping President Trump leaves for your grandchildren? Yeah. So they painted a picture of the same world that I want to leave for my daughter and any grandchildren she might offer. But it was like we had the same needs, but such radically different strategies for how to get there, different ideas.
Mm.
So there was something that shifted in me at that point where I was like, first of all, it felt like an emotional epiphany to get off that plane with two new friends wearing MAGA hats. And I started to, I used to love watching Jon Stewart and The Daily Show and Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, it's like I got my news and I got my inspiration from them. And I started to lose my taste for that edge that they all have, very strong opinions. It was like I couldn't, something was growing in me, and I couldn't resonate with that kind of comedy anymore. And when he won this last time, that was when I realized I'm more committed to depolarizing than to a certain point of view. So I call myself a recovering MAGA liberal. And I've had conversations, part of the research of the book is having conversations with Trump supporters. And, some of them I thought they drank the Kool-Aid, they're just watching Fox. But there's been a few that have been so intelligent, so loving, and really highly evolved, in my opinion. And it's really set my world on its axis to listen to them. And so I'm a work in progress. And this whole idea of being a depolarizer is brand new. And it's growing. And the book is helping me grow it, to identify who am I now at 62 years.
A mere child you are, I must say.
All of us.
And
But
by the way,
so
we're talking with.
powerful.
Oh, go ahead, Rochelle, and then we got to take a break.
Yes. We can take a break. It's just so powerful because it's a reminder that you can always think that you're so far ahead in life, but your beliefs can still change. Things can still change. You can decide who you are and why you view things the way you do. And I want to ask you a little bit more about that when we come back. But everybody stay with us. It's only like a minute and 10 seconds or something like that. We're here with Kevin, of course, myself, and Scott Grace. So we'll be right back.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
The Fire That Doesn't Die by Positive Talk Radio. Success never shows up overnight. It tests you. It breaks you. It asks, how much do you want it and how badly do you believe? Amazon answered that question for 9 long years with no profits, only vision. At Positive Talk Radio, our fight began in 2003. Self-funded, no spotlight, no guarantees. Only faith that hope and love can change lives. For over 2 decades now, we've kept showing up, keep speaking light into the darkness. And now, hey, we're still here, stronger, louder, inspiring hearts across the world. Because true greatness isn't measured by how fast you rise, but by how long you refuse to fall. And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, and Brochelle's here, and Scott Grace is here. He is a multi-talented man, He's a stand-up comic. He's a musician. He is a poet. He is an author, and he does all kinds of things. And he's a deep thinker who's thinking even deeper these days. Rochelle, go ahead.
Yes, Scott, I'm curious as to did this change other things, your other view in life that was aside from other people, but within yourself as well, as these beliefs started to kind of break open and you started to question them?
Yes. Yeah. Um,
Almost like finding maybe a new version of yourself type of thing.
Very much so. There, there was a moment where when I was told to rewrite the book, where and make it friendly for everyone,
Mhm.
that I was like, no, there's no way I can do this.
Mhm.
And then that poem came through, and that gave me the strength and the vision to do it. So it feels like an assignment, not necessarily coming from my personal ego, but more uh, like a download
Mhm.
that I'll probably take years to grow into. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you, when we talk about the divisions of people, and right now there's a lot of hate, division, and fear that's there, and most of it's being driven by fear, I believe.
I believe.
Fear of the other, fear of things they cannot control, and that is a I guess I want to ask you: is there a point, or is there a position that is so contrary to the betterment of mankind, um, like hurting each other or not being accepting of other viewpoints as well? Are there places that we should be drawing the line, or should we accept everybody for what they say, regardless of the pain that they may inflict upon others?
Mm.
Good question. It's obvious we don't want to repeat the mistakes of the past, like letting Hitler do his thing. So there is a place for drawing the line. The question is, do we draw it with rage and anger and shame, or do we draw it through standing up for what we believe is right and following the path of Martin Luther King and Gandhi and even Jesus, really? You know, he was a political rabble razor rabble.
He rose the rabble a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And Scott, you talked about people having different paths and different ideas, but if we all had the realization that it came down to us being one and caring about each other,
Hmm.
do you think we would care so much about those ideas and hold on to them so tight?
Hmm. Well, um, it's uh, it's an interesting planet we're
Mhm.
on because people come to learn all kinds of different lessons. Some of us are ready for the lessons of unity and oneness, and others are learning differently, and we're all kind of sharing the same planet, but
Mhm.
not everyone is going to be on the same page.
Yeah.
um, so I kind of think that that's what makes it spicy. That's what makes it jambalaya, throwing a whole lot of ingredients together, and seeing what we do with our
Yeah.
free will and our choices. Yeah, I have a dream that we're gonna like come into a much more harmonious, mature place as a species. But we may have to do that by hitting bottom. And
Yeah.
Trump, you know, kind of maybe our bottom.
Uh, I'm hoping.
However you look at that, it can be positive.
Indeed, exactly. Yeah.
Well, and you know, the human experience has been, it's kind of like a pendulum. It goes back and forth, and the will of or public opinion, and what's right and what is fake news, and all that kind of good stuff. And hopefully at one point near the before we go too far down the wrong rabbit holes, that we're able to recognize that all we've got is this planet, and we need to figure out how we can make it sustainable for everybody who's on it. I think, and that makes it hard because some people will profess not to believe that, and I know they don't necessarily. If they thought it through, they wouldn't mean that. If that
This
makes
may
sense.
be a good time for a song because I have a song. The trick is that you won't hear the guitar unless I take out my earbuds, which I'm happy to do, and you'll get a good sound. Well, what do you think, Mr. Technology?
No, Rochelle, help me.
Yes, as long,
No,
as
I
long
think
as you can put them back in. I mean, I'd love to hear your song, and then
Okay, let's do it.
we'll take a break after, and I have a follow-up question to end
Okay.
us out. So let's hear it.
So
You can't go without a song when we have Scott.
I know.
It's
Arlo
only right.
Guthrie wrote this in 1940. Arlo Guthrie. Pete Seeger made it a hit in the 60s. And I asked them on the astral plane if they wouldn't mind if I update the lyrics because it's a different age now. And they said, fine with us, Scott. Everybody breathes oxygen. Everybody is a citizen. Everyone a potential friend on this earth. Everybody breathes oxygen. Everybody is a citizen. Everyone a potential friend on this earth. This earth is your earth. This earth is my earth. From the Americas to the streets of Asia, from the mighty mountains to majestic oceans. This earth is here for you and me. If you saw our home from outer space, you'd not see countries, borders, or race. You just see beauty, a blue and white planet spinning to provide us gravity. This earth is your earth. This earth is our earth. From the people of Africa to the folks in Europe, from the Palestinians to the Israelis. This earth is here for you and me. Trees are so beautiful. They are our best friends. They take our CO2 and give us oxygen. And as we learn to care for our beloved home, sweet home, she can take care of you and me. This earth is your earth. This earth is our earth. From people in private jets to those in poverty, every hungry child is our responsibility. This earth can feed everybody. This earth can be supporting we. Everybody breathes oxygen. Everybody is a citizen. Everyone a potential friend on this earth. Everybody breathes oxygen. Everybody is a citizen. everyone a potential friend on this our
And that is Scott Grace, everybody. We need to take this. That's great, Scott. We need to take this quick break, and then we will be back. And Rochelle's got more information and some stuff to talk to Scott about. You've got questions, I know.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back. The strength of staying kind from your friends at Positive Talk Radio. Kindness is not weakness. It takes real strength to stay kind in a world that often rewards anger, ego, and control. Being kind means choosing to act from your values, not your wounds. It means showing grace even when no one's watching. But kindness doesn't mean being passive. It doesn't mean letting people take advantage of your time, your energy, or your peace. You can be kind and still say no. You have a soft heart with firm boundaries. The strongest people I know are the ones who choose compassion without losing themselves. They've been hurt. They've been tested. And still, they choose to love and lead and to lift others anyway. Kindness is not about pleasing everybody. It's about honoring who you are and how you treat others, even when it's hard. So stay kind, stay human, and stay strong. And always remember this, be kind to one another because each other's all we've got. And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald and Rochelle. Rochelle, I just love that one, that piece that we do. Scott, it's called kindness. What do you think?
Where do I get some? Home Depot?
You may. You may try the parking lot. That's what. No, I'm kidding. That's you can find kindness anywhere you choose to look for it, and you can be kind anywhere you choose to be. Doesn't cost you anything. I don't know if you know this, but it's absolutely free.
It does.
Very nice.
And it can be done anywhere in the world. And I would love for us, your book is very well. It's very timely for what's going on now, and I just hope that we can all figure out how to get along, and to not be so negative towards other people to the point of which that we want to deport them or put them in prison and that kind of stuff. It makes it very difficult for us to get through some of that when we are making the other such a big deal. And we need to get rid of the other because Scott, I don't know if you know this, but there ain't no other. There's just us.
It is
There's
true.
just us. There's no them. And everyone is a potential friend.
Correct.
And the time for separation has come to an end. The time to practice kindness has come again.
Oh, I wish I'd have wrote that. That's really good, Scott. Rochelle?
Yeah, and I know that you've been able to touch in with this kindness a lot, Scott, with especially sharing it. But don't you agree how it is almost more important to be kind to ourselves so that when we are giving kindness, it is in the best form possible with pure intention?
Totally. Totally. And I practice that every day. In the mirror, looking at my judgments and having compassion for my pain or my struggles or my unwillingness to change, because I can just dig my heels into the dirt and say, no, I'm not changing that.
Yeah.
And so being kind to the parts of me that are not evolved and not wanting to get with the program is so essential, instead of pushing and shoving and judging.
Yeah.
And then I can really be kind to others. There's no true kindness available for me to extend to others unless it's already existing inside.
Yeah, very true. And before we leave the show, I'd love to know how you handle fear and how you choose to look at it.
Alcohol, cocaine, heroin.
No.
How do I handle?
Those may have been past ideas, but not current ideas
All
or
right, all
future
right.
ideas.
I'll answer in a much more mature way. I just got to get it out of my system, the snappy, quirky New York kind of.
Human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do I handle fear? I give it a voice. I'm really scared of blah, blah, blah. And what's the worst thing that can happen if that happens? And I actually visualize the worst case scenario and I make peace with it. Hey, even if that happens, we'll survive. And then I visualize the best case scenario, and that becomes where I hang out. But so going into fear, not being afraid of fear, has been very important for me. But to go in, like I'm going into the jungle with a shining flashlight and hacking the weeds, wow, what am I really afraid of? And for most of us, it's the same stuff: rejection, abandonment, being ostracized from the community.
The unknown.
I think this particular topic, the red and blue, is bringing up a whole new level of fear for me. Fear of being persecuted. We talked about past lives. There have been lives in which I was persecuted. I was a woman burned at the stake because I was intuitive. So there's a lot of fears about being visible in this conversation that is so full of fire and rage. To come in with a guitar and some poetry into conversations where most people are very upset. So it's a new level of fear and a new level of opportunity to free myself from fear.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Indeed.
Kevin,
It's
do you have a
pretty
question before we run out of time?
But of course, darling, of course. First of all, I want to say, Scott, I admire your courage and your bravery and your unwillingness to settle for what is maybe the safer path, but to also recognize that we're all human beings and that even people that have got a uniquely difficult viewpoint, if we avoid that and talk about grandchildren, we'll all be fine. Do you know what I mean? Because we all have something that we can talk to each other about.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when my goal becomes connection, and that goal replaces my ego's goal of correction, then I can make the selection for less protection and more connection.
I don't know how you do that, but I love it.
I was going to say, it's pretty cool how we can just whip that out all by itself, kind of thing. I don't know
And it
if that's
doesn't
the
just
right
rhyme,
word.
but it makes sense. There's purpose in your words. And that's why I love hearing from you, Scott, is because you're so intentional, not only about your energy, but about the words you're choosing to use and how you speak of things. That's critical for us as human beings, right? Communication with ourselves.
Yeah.
Change your whole world.
And I love the concept, and I wish everybody did this. And Brachelle's doing it now. And we apparently this has been a theme for the week, because we've had guests that have said, when I look in the mirror, for a long time I saw less than, or disgust. And I wasn't happy with myself until I began to understand that I am just perfect the way I am. And whether or not other people see me that way is none of my business. They can do what they like, but I'm perfect in every single way. And I take value in who I am as a human being. And from that respect, you can then take value in other human beings because you respect yourself, so then you can respect others. At least that's my viewpoint. What would your viewpoint be? And I bet you there is a rhyme in there somewhere.
I would say ditto. Ditto to you. You said it so well. I do not have a clue. There's no new information that wants to come through, except, Kevin, what you said is true.
Thank you so much. And see, there was a rhyme in there anyway. So, Rochelle, isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's amazing. And for us to be able to all come together too and have a conversation where we're the example of this, Scott, and that we can choose to see as pressure, but you mentioned it as opportunity. When you have
Yeah.
these fears come in and you choose to change who you are and believe in that being the betterment for yourself and humanity, you're showing that example of how it is possible. And I just want you to know that I think that is extremely inspirational. And I'm glad we have somebody like you to show us that and provide it, because I couldn't imagine the people that get to speak to you and the things they learn in just 5 minutes. And for you as well, currently learning all the time more from other people just by digging in to yourself a little more. So it's crazy concept, but it's so beautiful and it really is simple.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Was that hard for you to say? Thank you.
Me?
No.
No, I'm talking. I'm talking Scott, because Scott, there are lots of people who do not validate or value who they really are. And when somebody says something nice to them, it's like, oh no, don't be silly. I'm just a...
This silly old dress. Are you kidding?
it is important
I
to
love it.
validate other people's positive opinions of you with accepting those opinions and believing them and saying thank you for them, because that is a growth process all by itself, isn't it?
It sure is. It sure is. And I've gotten over the years. People used to say, "You're a genius," and I would just bristle, like, don't call me that. It's I couldn't take it, like it's like a judgment. Um,
Mm.
but now I just say thank you, thank you.
Hmm.
And I don't
That's
even
gotta
say,
feel
and
good.
you're a genius too, or like you're just speaking about yourself and projecting it
Yeah.
onto me, because those things just take away from the beauty of receiving a compliment. And that's what the person who's appreciating you would most want, is for you to graciously receive the compliment. And so I'm learning that actually is humility, to just receive it.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And when you say, rather than oh no, you say thank you, I received that.
Yes.
And
So
it doesn't hurt to follow that up with a compliment of your own to them or not, depending on, on how you feel. But
yeah.
Scott Grace, we enjoy having you on the show every time that you are here. You are dynamic. Rochelle, you get to take us out today.
Well, thank you everybody for being with myself and Kevin and Scott Grace. He sang songs with us. If you didn't listen to the whole conversation, I challenge you to do so with an open heart and an open mind, with the idea of we're all one. And the way we see ourselves is the way we choose to see the world. So keep that in mind. And if you're going to be so deep, maybe be careful exactly why that is, and be open, loving, listening to all people, and accepting of your own self in love as well. So thanks for being with us. Again, we will see you tomorrow. And Kevin, do you have anything else?
Yes, if I wanted to go to Scott's website, how would I possibly be able to do such a thing?
Well, good news, Kevin. There's a new thing called the internet. And
I've
all you
heard of
have
that.
to do is type www.scottsongs.com. That's SCOTTSONGS.com. It'll get you there much faster than a car or even a plane.
And that is
Great
just
advice.
awesome. Go to scottsongs.com and find out all about him. And he's got a couple of books there. I think you should, buy a couple of books from him. And then when the new book comes out, Scott, you're going to have to come back when the editors get done with it and it's out there. I would love to have you back so that we can talk about that some more.
I would love it.
Yes. Thanks
And
for your time,
everybody-
Scott. We love and appreciate you and hope to see you soon. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Stay with us for tomorrow.
Thank you for being part of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where stories inspire and voices remind us of what truly matters. May today's conversation give you hope, courage, and a reason to keep moving forward. And just remember, till next time, be kind to one another because each other's all we've got.